How's it going, boys and girls? My name is Cowie and welcome back to the Carrot Club. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use function in Roblox Studio, and I will be explaining every bits of details you see here so that you won't get confused when you see this. So with that, let's get started. So why are we learning functions? Let's take math for example. A lot of people find math pretty boring, right? I remember when I was in school, if the teacher says don't use the calculator to do my math homework, I will be the one using it and get into trouble. The reason why I use the calculator is because math is easier with the calculator. When I punch two numbers in, I get an answer right away. It doesn't matter if it's a 2-digit number or a 10-digit number, it is all the same for the calculator. That's an example of a function. It is a group of codes placed inside of this tiny machine called the calculator that allows it to do a specific task, which is to calculate numbers easier and faster. The calculator by itself does nothing, not until I start using it. In scripting, we use functions to quickly do what we want. The only thing that we need to know is knowing how many dishes to press and in what situation do we want to use it. So let's write a simple function together. Function add bracket number 1 comma number 2, and inside of the function we write local number 3 equals number 1 plus number 2, and then return number 3, the end. And then on the next line we write local answer equals add bracket 15 comma 23, and then finally we say print the answer. If I were to press run right now, I'll get the answer number 38. Now, there is a lot of stuff happening here, so let me explain and clarify what is actually happening. So the very first thing we see here is the keyword function, which tells Studio that you are setting up a machine to be used later on in the script. The second thing you notice here is the function name. It is like a variable, except it is for a function. To use the function like how I'm doing it here, you call the function by the name you have given it. The stuff inside here with the number 1, number 2 here, these are called arguments. This is where you will place carrots inside to be turned into carrot juice. They are information that you need to give to this function in order for this function to do their job. If you look at the examples here again, I gave it two numbers, 15 and 23. That's the information I have given it to the add function so that it can do its job. The stuff inside here with the number 3 and the return, this whole thing is called the function body. This is where you will write all of the instructions on how you want this function to work. So for this simple example, I'm adding two numbers together. In a real game, you can use this to set up Robux shop. Finally, we got the return statement. This is the part where the carrot juice comes out. So this whole thing here is called a function. So now that you know a little bit about how to create a function, the next thing we need to learn is how to make a function call. A function call is basically telling Studio that I want to use this function. A function by itself does nothing, so we have to call upon its service by calling the name add and then supply it with information that it needs to do its job. In the function up here, we have two arguments listed. When we call the function, we have to give two arguments worth of information so that it can do its job. In this case, it is 15 and 23. Once the add function is called, it will take the number 1 and number 2 and add them together. And finally, we return the number 3 and place it inside of the answer variable. The last thing I did is print the answers out onto the screen, which is the number 38. So all of these together is how you use the function. So the first thing we did was to create a function, and then we instruct the function on what to do. And then finally, we use the function to do what we want. So I hope that I didn't lose anybody here. It is not a complicated concept, but at the same time, it does sound very complicated. If you don't understand this yet, just watch this video again until you understand it. And always remember to practice, practice, and practice. So thank you boys and girls for watching, and I'll see you in the next video in game or at the Carrot Club. Take care, everybody.